Hello, Star Wars fans. Qui-Gonn Jake Berlin here with Apocalypse Movies, the Padawan Anthology, our little spin-off show for the Padawan Podcast, our all Star Wars show. I am joined by Brian Avolicino, and we've yet to get you a name for the Star Wars universe, but we'll find something eventually. We are here to recap the absolutely insane,
fantastic
Star Wars Rebels finale. We just got done watching it about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to edit this and put this up as soon as I possibly can, but
we couldn't wait.
yeah, I mean, and Brian can tell you guys, but I was literally shaking after watching this finale, and there's specific reasons why, and we'll get into those
because it was fantastic.
Well, and we're gonna try and do this as quick as we possibly can, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Mainly, probably just realistically, probably just the last minute of the hour and a half of TV we just watched.
I mean,
we could literally talk about that for about 30 minutes. So, yeah, just fair warning, this is going to be spoilers.
Heavy.
Yeah, we're going to get into it, and we're probably going to glaze over some stuff and get into detail about others. And if you're looking for maybe like a full recap of the entire series of Rebels, that's actually going to be on Padawan a little bit later this week, probably released on Wednesday, I would say, after some editing and whatnot. And so, yeah, the Rebels finale, it was a three-parter, basically. You had the first episode called Fool's Hope, and then you had the last episode, which was basically a combination, an hour-long episode, as they usually do to finales. I forget the name of that one. It was something and Farewell. But, yeah, I mean, there's so much going on in these episodes, and I think that, you know, what I want to say right off the bat is Ahsoka fucking lives.
That's all he's really cared about.
We just found out that not only does Ahsoka live through the original trilogy events, and we know that she doesn't take place in them. She's out there doing something on her own, obviously.
Which we need to know.
And we found out that Hera and Chopper lived through Rogue One as well, because they were in Rogue One in the ghost ship. But we just found out that on board that ship was also Zeb and Sabine,
Chopper,
and Rex and Chopper and freaking God, the Empire dude who turned rebel. That's David Oyelowo. Callisis. Is it Callisis? Callisis, something like
he's
that.
He's like my favorite character.
Yeah,
I can't even
the blonde
think of his name
dude that
right
turned
now.
Empire to rebellion. I mean, there are so many things going on in this episode that just makes my freaking head spin. And then obviously we find out by the last words of Sabine, you know, Ezra and Sabine have had this connection through this entire season. They've had some really cool stuff.
It was Agent Callus.
I was close. They had this really cool connection, and the last episode, it had a huge emphasis on the fact that Ezra trusted Sabine, you know, I trust you, or, you know, I believe in you, and Sabine was kind of wrapping her head around what this meant the entire time, and we found out in the last little sequence there that it wasn't to watch over Lothal, it wasn't to continue the fight against the Empire, even though they did. It was to go find him, because he is out there somewhere. After pulling an epic, basically heist move on Thrawn. With some freaking space whales. I mean, I'm rambling, yes, but as you can tell, we literally just got done watching this, and there's a lot to talk about. Brian, there's a lot to talk about in this episode, and I know that we each have some favorite moments. Obviously, I already said mine, and I'm going to be talking about this for a while. But if you had to pick, you know, one or two favorite things that you got from the episode, whether it's possibilities in the future, a certain sequence, or maybe what happens to the character in a certain way, what would you go with?
The last minute and a half.
Just the monologue by Sabine.
2 minutes.
The monologue by Sabine about everything.
It was phenomenal. It was perfect is the word that comes to mind right off the bat. I get chills just thinking about it, and just how badass was Ahsoka standing there in
Don't
that
even get me
white
started, dude.
robe
Don't even get me started.
With that giant staff. Who knows what the hell that staff is? With the giant circle on the edge of it. ready to just look like she's about to open a can of whoop ass. And Sabine's there. Those two together.
Well, I said it as soon as we watched it. What if the next series is following them searching for Ezra?
I feel like it has to be. They can't just leave us like that. There's so many good things that they just threw at us at the end. This is the last one. It's not even a season finale. It's a series finale, and they're gonna drop like that. Thrawn is one of my favorite villains of all time, and we don't even know if he's still alive or not.
I don't know. That's a big question. I mean, Thrawn's a very rich character, and so.
I mean, they've got another book coming out.
Yeah, and that
Thrawn
one follows
Alliance.
him and Vader. That one follows him and Vader.
So,
I don't know. And what's interesting is looking back on how they used Thrawn. To be quite honest, he was almost underused.
100%.
In a way, and so I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he's alive because he could be a great antagonist if they happen to be in Wild Space because that's where he's from.
Dude, I think that's where we're going. All signs point to Wild Space.
Well, and it's something new. That's the big thing.
Exactly. We got Last Jedi pointing to Wild Space. We've got this now pointing to Wild Space. I haven't read the Thrawn book yet, which I have sitting in my bookshelf over there. But from what I've heard, that points to Wild Space. I mean, come on. The signs are pointing us one direction. So, I mean, give it to me. I'm ready.
Well, and so at the beginning of the season, obviously the opening episode had focused on Sabine and her kind of comeback with the Gross crew, and she was put forward through the first part of this season. And I always had said that, obviously the big debate was, okay, who's gonna live, who's gonna die? It's gonna be dark. It's not going to end well because we don't know where they are in the original trilogy. Blah blah blah. We've obviously gotten that answer now.
It's going to be a Rogue One ending. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, exactly. And we have that answer now. And so, but I had always said through the entire season, I was like, if they're going to do something in the future with one of these characters, whether that's immediately after or in the original trilogy or after or whatever it may be, Sabine had the most argument as to why her character could lead a new animated series.
100%.
Not only because she's a total kick-ass, she's a badass fighter. She has her Mandalorian roots. She's a great artist, which is something that we don't see in the Star Wars world. She's different as far as how she operates, and like I just mentioned, she has that Mandalore tie, which we haven't seen Mandalore in the canon universe at all. So it made sense, but never in my wildest dreams did I ever think about, okay, both Kanan and Ezra are going to die. Well, as far as we know, they're both going to be gone. Kanan passed. He sacrificed himself in the most biggest badass Jedi way that he could possibly do it. Ezra, we thought one of them would live and one of them would die. Never did we think that we would go through two dramatic emotional scenes where they both just say, hey, this is what I had to do. And they both basically say, may the Force be with you always. It's an emotional tie. But the fact that Ezra leaves, and we're like, okay, the question of him being alive or dead is still out there. But then they fast forward, 30 freaking years or whatever it is. 20 years, however long.
I want to say it was right after Endor.
Yeah, it had to be a solid maybe 8 years. Because, here's another spoiler. Kanan and Hera have a kid.
Yeah.
And he's got to be at least 5 years old.
Oh, I would have rounded up even higher, maybe 7 or 8.
So it would have to be, it would have to be just a few years after Endor, maybe not even maybe just a few months. But Sabine and Ahsoka together, imagine that combination. Imagine
it's badass.
How different they are, but how similar they are. And then, obviously Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters, and
if you can't tell,
I think that her potential for a live action debut or a series or whatever it is very, very high in comparison to other characters. And then I said the same thing with Sabine going forward as well. But combining them and having the one thing that brings them together, Ezra, the fact that he could still be out there, before The Force Awakens came out, and, honestly, I said this, as we were watching this, but Ahsoka could be alive right now because her race ages differently.
We don't know.
Sabine could be alive right now. Ezra could be alive right now, hiding somewhere or being hidden by someone else. Possibly Thrawn caught him, hiding him in wild space. We don't know.
Here's my thing. They opened up time travel.
Yeah.
That gives us unlimited possibilities. I'm already jumping. Okay. This is my thing. I am fixated on Ahsoka's staff. That thing has to do something. What if it opens time and space?
Yeah, I don't.
What? I don't know.
I don't know if I want to think about that right now.
That's a little far-fetched, but like, I don't even know. I haven't even had time to process it. We don't know what she is. She looked like she belonged to something, did she not? A little bit?
A little bit, but remember, the last time we saw her, she was actually going inside of the Sith Temple.
Oh, that's true.
So what did she find in there?
I don't know, but...
Or maybe she found a portal, that portal that went inside that time and space thing we saw in the episode. Because the last time...
Ezra said there was more than one.
Well, that's where Ezra pulled Ahsoka out, was in the temple.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean...
I think there's significance to her being dressed in all white.
That or she's just a total badass.
I mean, yeah, that is also true.
Because she also aged. You could see her in her face that she definitely looked different as far as age.
Not by much.
Yeah, but she definitely looked a little bit older in comparison to what we've seen. And she was covered a little bit, but as an avid fan as I am, you could tell a little bit.
Oh, well, yeah.
Man, it's just...
There's so many open possibilities right now.
Well, we were debating through watching the 3 episodes, or the 2 episodes, whatever you want to call it, that we kept guessing, okay, who's going to die? Who's going to die? And we were expecting one major character to kind of take the fall. We saw one of these stormtroopers, or one of the troopers from the Clone Wars series take a fall. Gregor, Rex's pal from his, the trio of troopers that they found earlier in the series. Gregor took the fall in the episode. He was the only one to really die other than Governor Price.
Yeah, shockingly.
Yeah, well, we were saying Zeb, and, to be honest... We said that, but I kept thinking about it. It would be very hard to kill him because of what he meant to his people and how little of them are left. And I thought that moment between him and Callus going back to their homeworld was pretty cool too at the very end of the episode. But yeah, I mean, it's also interesting. Like, we didn't talk about this at all, but they all separated after Endor. Mm-hmm. They all went their separate ways because the Empire had fallen. Obviously, the fight kept going on in parts, but Hera and her son and Chopper on the Ghost were doing their thing, flying. Who knows if they were still in the rebellion or not? Sabine,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think she might have just kind of tapped out.
They looked like they were just happy.
I think she may have just tapped out. Sabine was on the Thal, and like she had said in the monologue, she thought that Ezra meant... watch over my planet for me, watch over my people. But then that's when Ahsoka showed up in a cringeworthy moment.
You lost your mind.
Dude, I lose my mind. And then Zeb and Callus, Zeb surprised Callus by taking him to his home planet, showing him his people. Because remember, earlier in the series, Callus on the planet where him and Zeb were trapped, where ultimately Callus became Fulcrum, he revealed that he felt like he had killed his people. That he was the reason why their people went extinct. So Zeb surprised him with a group of Lasat on the planet where they're kind of rebuilding the race. It's really, really cool. And I think, after everything, like, it was a great minute or two monologue that was Sabine, but...
It was fantastic.
I was thinking about this, like, what I would have loved to have seen, and it didn't fit. It would have never fit because Sabine was monologuing it. She was talking about it and her friends and family. But I would have loved to have seen the rebellion after the Battle of Endor, after what we saw in the original movie. Just a snippet of it after fighting. It wouldn't have fit. It would not have fit at all, but it would have been a great opportunity because they were all involved in it. Yeah. All of them had a hand in Endor, in Hoth, in Yavin, obviously in Rogue One. Like, they all had a hand in that. I think it would have been really cool to see that, but at the same time, it would not have made sense at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I, I, I think I would have. It would have been cool, maybe like a quick flyover, but it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't needed. I mean, they tie minus the cliffhanger of Ezra. They tied everything nice with a little bow, and like, I was fully going into this with an expectation of a Rogue One ending, where you're just left heartbroken, but it fit. But it was the complete opposite. It was a
happy ending.
happy ending, which is not always a way Star Wars goes.
Well, they went drama when the series came back a few weeks ago. Obviously, when Kanan died, I think that was the gut wrenching part where they kind of went for. They did it. They literally did it in the first episode.
They were like,
back.
"Oh, look at how awesome they are!"
Yeah.
Smack in the face.
Yeah, and with all these movies that have come out lately, I mean, obviously Rogue One ended in a bad thing. You have The Force Awakens, which ended rough with Han Solo dying, obviously. Finn got scratched up on that one. And then in between the two movies, we had Carrie Fisher passing away. Then The Last Jedi, we have Luke going bye-bye.
Yeah.
And Kylo Ren going darker than he's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bright spot.
Yeah.
And, we expect
gave
this
us
darkness.
hope.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm glad it went this way because it was a real... God, Brian, why are you guys showing me that, man?
I just showed him a
I'm
picture.
going to lose my train of thought.
Ahsoka.
I'm going to lose my train of thought. It's nice to have something that we've been so invested in for these past 4 years come to such a nice close. Like, look at all the turmoil that a character like Hera went through with her father, with, going through some of the pain she went through when she was captured or Thrawn tormenting her, and then the death of Kanan. Just look at that 5-second sequence of how happy she was with her son.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it was all about.
Jason Syndulla.
Yeah, which is a cool callback to Jason Solo.
Yeah.
From the expanded universe, but
with the green hair.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Uh-huh.
Very interesting as far as a human goes. Well, a human hybrid, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I was. That kind of threw me off.
It's kind of interesting how that works.
Expecting
but,
a little tentacle
whatever.
action,
Yeah.
but
hey,
oh well.
Good for them. But here's the interesting thing. Obviously, Kanan is his father. Kanan is arguably probably one of the most powerful Jedis to ever live.
Yep.
That raises some interesting questions because this does take place after the original trilogy. And here's an even more interesting question. Kanan was human. Hera was alien. How does their son age?
I don't know, but even if you think about that, Force Awakens takes place, 30 years after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, 30 years.
Okay, well, at the end of the episode, it says Hera survived the Battle of Endor, showing the kid. We're going to guesstimate he's between 5 and 10, 5 and 8. That only puts him at early 40s, maybe. Mm-hmm. Around the time of of the new movies.
Well, and if we were to ever see him in live action, the green hair is obviously the kicker to give him away.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it does leave some interesting questions because I don't know, man. I mean,
there's so many possibilities. Our minds are just going everywhere right now.
At the same time, I would love to see Hera in another series. Like, I think she is one just fantastic character. I would love to see her in another series with her son and whatever happens to her son. But at the same time, because of what happened to Kanan, I think it's such a good send-off just to let him go their happy way.
Yeah, I agree.
And let the Force thing kind of we can debate it all we want, but just let them do their thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Give me Sabine and Ahsoka. That's what I want. That's what everyone wants. Give it to me now. That's about where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Because
I just lose my freaking crap.
Those two together. Okay, I looked over to you when we were watching it. The second Sabine grabbed Ezra's lightsaber, you and I's reaction...
No, your reaction was different as far as you think that she's going to become some, Force user, right?
I don't know about going that far, but...
Well, she's...
I wouldn't go as far as saying Grey Jedi or anything, but...
Sabine?
She was trained by a Jedi, bro.
Yeah, but
She's
she doesn't
trained
have
by
the
a
she doesn't
Dread.
have the force.
I agree. But, you know,
I if that was to happen, like I wouldn't argue against that happening, but then she would just be another lightsaber user like Ahsoka.
yeah.
Like I want them to be different.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel, for me, oh, well, you know, I was going to say things happen for a reason. They don't, it's like, for me, it makes me think of Captain America, Bucky grabbing his shield. It was like kind of like a forlorn thing. But now that thinking about it, that could have been a way of saying, hey, she's got his lightsaber. She's going for him, you know? The lightsaber was not forgotten. So, you know, there's just so many so many possibilities that can go on right now.
Well, so and I've been on the computer trying to search for this certain post that was posted by Dave Filoni earlier today after the Rebels premiered, and this is what he said in a post, thanking all of Star Wars fans, and he said, "This is some of the crew that worked on Star Wars Rebels over the years." As he posted a picture, we wanted to thank you for all the support you have given us over the last 4 years. Remember, my friends, the Force will be with you always. But this is where it gets interesting. Now let us begin again. They're already working on something different.
I did not know this.
And so
let us begin again.
yeah. And so it's interesting as far as what happens going forward. I have a feeling that next Star Wars Celebration, they will bring some major animated stuff because the animated Star Wars universe has become very, very popular.
Yes, it has.
It's something for people to watch on a regular basis, and it obviously you see how much we love this stuff. So,
it's the version. It's. I have a feeling we'll eventually get some type of Netflix-y type show, but until that happens, the animated's gonna rule it. So like this is the calm, I think, before the storm, and another way for them to add these characters, create separate universes. I mean, we've seen them add expanded universe characters like that. I mean, Thrawn was one of the most popular expanded universe. People were devastated when they said, oh, that stuff's not canon anymore. Yet, here they come with a show like this, dropping Thrawn in. Now Thrawn's canon. So, I mean, it's another way for them to get these cool characters in it. And I don't think everyone, I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone loves the movies. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Star Wars movie. But it's kind of like the other end of the stick where it's different. It gives you a break from the movies and something else to look forward to. And I think that's what I was a huge person against the animated. Then you got me watching Clone Wars and this, and now I'm like, I need it. It's like my drug. Give me more. And now you're gonna drop Rebels like that. I need a fix right now. So
what's so funny is like us talking about this like whole Ahsoka Sabine thing. She's always been one of my favorites, but Brian, it took him a long time to get used to her because in the beginning she was a little bratty kid who was kind of annoying, but then he finally got to the part I was waiting for where she walks off. Like,
spoiler if you haven't watched Clone Wars.
Okay, Clone Wars has been out for like 10 years. Like, get on it, people.
Hey, I was so opposed to it that took me this long.
It's true. All right, well, I think we can
were you going to finish what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that you now that you're on the bandwagon with her.
Yeah,
like
100%.
she's one of your favorites.
100%. I was so I specifically remember when they said they were making this show that Anakin's gonna have an apprentice, and I was like, get the F out of here with that nonsense.
She's really him and Obi-Wan's though.
Yeah, but either way, I was so against changing it like that. But now I start to see it's changing it, but in a good way because it adds. And that it's just these characters you care for them just as much as the movie characters, the actual live action ones. And we haven't seen really a crossover yet, minus the like original like Obi-Wan, Mace Windu and stuff go back into anime. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before we see the cartoon come to live screen.
Well, I've always argued that if we do get that Obi-Wan movie, an Obi-Wan Ahsoka team up would be absolutely incredible.
So bad.
Because let's just break it down for a moment. Let's just take about a few minutes to break this down. So, season 2, Ahsoka finds out that Vader is Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she finds this out. Obviously, we find out in Rebels that she goes back into the Sith Temple. But there's this huge gap from the time she gets in the Sith Temple until we see her in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
What if she finds Obi-Wan, just wiggles her way over to Tatooine? Okay, it's like, oh my god, Anakin is Vader. What do we do? Obi-Wan's like, okay, you gotta calm yourself down. They're too powerful. And then they kind of go on this little team-up, buddy cop-up thing and just battle some Tusken Raiders or something.
Oh my god, stop.
And then they go their separate ways, and then boom, Sabine Wren in an animated series.
Just give me Sabine, Ahsoka.
No, I want to see Ahsoka in live action.
I know. Oh, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me.
No, I don't want to see the live action with those two though, because I think they're really good animated together.
True.
And it's fun. Like they're fun. Sabrina's a fun character, and
Sabrina's
I feel like
fun.
it would just do a different atmosphere if it was live action with Sabine specifically, and then we would get into the whole, oh my god, who's gonna play Ezra, or oh my god, who's gonna play Sabine? Like,
True.
I kind of like it how it is.
True. Very good point. We're all over the place right now. Our minds still haven't processed.
It's kind of ridiculous, but this is what happens when we're fans.
Yeah.
Like this is, and we wanted to get on the mic as soon as possible. Obviously, we can talk about this as much as we possibly can, and we will be. We'll either be shooting a Padawan a little bit later, maybe tomorrow, but I'm gonna try and get up on Wednesday as soon as possible, talking Rebels as a whole for the series, kind of breaking it down, what we think, even though we kind of did that here, kind of just as a whole, character-wise. Expectations, etc.
We're not done talking about Rebels.
No, but we're going to be talking about this all week long.
Yeah.
So check out that on the Padawan podcast later this week. Head down in the comments, let us know what you thought of the Rebels finale. Did you want it to go one way, but you liked the way it ended up, or vice versa? What do you want to see in the future? Like, let's have a little debate about it. Maybe we missed something. Is there something cooler that could possibly happen? We want to know about it. Let us know in the comments. Brian, thank you, of course, for joining me talking Star Wars. We gotta find you a name, dude.
We do.
Gotta find you a name.
Soon enough.
So, for Brian, for Qui-Gonn Jake, thank you for joining us today on the Padawan Anthology, talking Star Wars Rebels. And until next time, may the Force be with you.